The Hyperion Pro by NYXI came out recently. It's an awesome Joy-Con alternative, but there was a little bit of an issue, and that's the color. And that's weird for me to say because green is my favorite color. I just didn't think it suited this that well. I don't know, there was something about it. I was just a bit like, meh, I don't really know about the green, man. I don't know, like, I don't know what I think about that. And then NYXI came to the rescue. Here we go. This is the new Hyperion Pro, and it's exactly the same in every way, pretty much, but it's now purple. It's a little bit more GameCube inspired, just, you know, you can kind of see with the colors that they've used, but that's as far as it goes, is just with the coloring. But I wanted to get this today and check it out with you for the first time with me. The box itself is really nice. I like what they've done these days with the new packaging for the NYXI products, much better than it used to be. And well, let's just see what we get inside, shall we? Ooh, nice. So we get the typical, you know, inner, I nearly said inner circle. It's not the inner circle. The inner bit, the attachment piece. And you can straight away see that this is different from the other Pro just here because it's actually got a design on it, whereas this one doesn't. So that's just straight and it just says NYXI with a little owl in the middle. This one actually has a design like molded into it, and I actually quite like this. It's very subtle, you know, it's like a small change, but immediately it makes it look a little bit better. I don't know, it does in my opinion at least. I think that's pretty cool. We get, you know, the standard USB-A to USB-C cable, but you don't really need this since you can charge the Joy-Cons once they're railed onto the Switch. And then we get the manual, of course. So we get a really big manual, like massive manual. Wow, that's a big manual. We don't need that. And then we get the Joy-Cons themselves. Straight away, I like them. I like them a lot. Let's put them on this thing here. Let's put them on the centerpiece just here. Boom, there we go. So straight away, the biggest thing that my eye's drawn to is this centerpiece. It really is. Obviously the color change, but the first thing I see is this because that one's so bland. This one is like, whoa, what's going on here? And that's what it looks like. I really like the attachment piece being different. Just makes this feel like a totally different controller, even though it's exactly the same. We've got the GameCube inspired face buttons just there. So the coloring where you've got the green A and the red B, and that is not found on the previous model. The previous model is very simple. It's just green, a little bit of gold, and that's kind of it. The buttons are just transparent with white behind them. And yeah, I mean, even the actual joysticks are dark green as well. And there's nothing wrong with this at all. I do love this controller, but the stylings of this one are just a lot nicer. They really are. I don't know why, I just much prefer them. I really do. The gray, the yellow, the purple, the little bit of colors on those face buttons. It's epic. And if you don't know what specs these have, well then why haven't you watched my review video of the original? Well, let me just kind of quickly go over it now. So these do have Hall effect sensing joysticks, so they will not drift. They've got rumble, like various levels of rumble as well. They've got gyro, they've got macro back paddles with button swap and macro abilities. You've also got actual wireless, so you can use them individually as individual Joy-Cons like this, or you can use them as a controller like this, or docked onto the Switch. And yeah, they've got so much stuff going for them. They are really cool. Oh, they've got turbo as well. They also have turbo. More on that in the actual review video. Go check that out. But whilst they should be identical, there is actually a slight difference that I've noticed, and that is the D-pad. So the D-pad on the purple one, I feels better. I actually feel like the D-pad is slightly better than on the green one, and it looks pretty much the same in every way, but it could be the coloring, but I feel like it looks a little bit larger as well than the green one. So the green one just looks a little bit slimmer, and I feel like that could be because of the color being like a bit of an illusion, because this like sort of gray color makes it look very flat, whereas you can see a bit more like, I don't know, edging and stuff on this one. But on the green one, it's very stiff. Now this is probably like specific to my model, I'm not too sure, but on the green one, for me, it's really stiff. You know, this D-pad is very stiff. It's not very nice. It's not my favorite at all. But on the purple one, they've loosened it up a bit, and it's a little bit more like clicky sounding as well, whereas on the green one, it is clicky sounding, but kind of muted because it's very, very stiff. On the purple one, it's freer. It rolls like more nicely, essentially. And yeah, I actually prefer it. So even though they should be identical, this one's got a nicer D-pad, it just does. But in terms of everything else, it all feels the same. I still don't really like the top caps. They just feel a bit slippy for me, but you can remove them and replace them. It doesn't come with any like spare, but it's just a little bit skatey because that top piece just there is very, very, very smooth, like the plastic on that. And I just feel a little bit skiddy with it. But one thing I really like about this is the joystick color change from like a deep green, right, all the way around the joysticks to this gray and yellow one makes the RGB LEDs just shine through so much better. So here we've got the actual Joy-Cons attached, and yeah, it's really, really bright in here. So I'm probably gonna go and dim the lights maybe, but I just feel like the RGB LEDs shine through a lot nicer on these than they did with these just here, because on these it's just the ring. Do you know what I mean? I know these are not connected anymore, so it's not going to light up for long, but you can see it's just that ring itself that's lighting up. Whereas with this one, if I cover up, the whole thing glows. Like the whole joystick glows, and that's because this one is actually like a gray color. It's reflecting the light all the way up the dome, and it just looks so cool. And the exact same happens with this one. Look how that glows. Can you see how that glows? Like that is just so cool. And when you're playing with this without like a massive, massive light, this just glows. It really does. And I love the effect. At first I was like, how have they made the joysticks like RGB? This is mental. Then I was like, oh no, it's just like reflecting the light essentially, but it's definitely cool. Everything else is exactly the same. Everything I've said applies from my review video. It's just that these are a new colorway and I much prefer them. You know, I massively prefer them, mainly because of the face buttons as well, but just the whole thing just looks a lot nicer. Purple's way more Nintendo feeling to me than a random green, and I just prefer this, I really do. And it's got a better D-pad. So whether or not that's just my model or not, I can't really say. I've only had this one model to test, but it's definitely nicer on mine. So what do you think about the NYXI Hyperion Pro? Did you get the originals? Did you get the green ones? Or were you holding out for a different color because you didn't like the green ones? Let me know down in the comments. And whilst down there, like this video and subscribe. Become a member, why not? And check out mine and AJ's podcast over here where we talk about all things gaming. And I'll see you in another one. No, don't go away. Watch the Hyperion Pro review down here first, and then you can go. Bye.